Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host, and this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, this time, I'm going to have another look at some underground, alternative, whatever you want to call them, comics or magazine. This is Weirdo Magazine, and it's been about a year since I did the last one about Weirdo, and this will finish up my modest collection of them. I tell you, I was just doing a little research and looking online, and I saw someone selling the entire collection, the entire run of Weirdo Magazine for $1,300. Oh my gosh. And I don't have all 28 issues. I wish I did, though. I missed a lot of them. I came in kind of late, and then I couldn't get them all. I never got the first 6 or 8 or so, and then sporadically after that. So, and of course, Weirdo Comics from Last Gasp, Eco Funnies, created and edited and contributed to by Robert Crumb and his now late wife, Kaminski Crumb. Of course, he was the first editor up until about, I think, issue 9 or something like that, and then Peter Bagg was the edited it until number 18, which is the first one we're going to look at here, and after that, with they were edited by Aline, with I think one exception. I think it was 25 or something. And I'll notice here with this issue, number 18, starting with number 18. Of course, all issues of Weirdo had covers by Crumb himself, and he also had stuff in the interior. Some of the earlier stuff had his fumetti photo cartoons, as well as some of his drawn stuff. They didn't do that well after several issues, and they stopped doing the fumettis. But here, you notice the cover of this one is designed to look like one of the women's magazines, like Glamour or something. It's the new Weirdo. Adults only. New editor Aline Kaminski Crumb makes a few changes. The joys and jolts of working on the same magazine as your husband. In this issue, Carol A., Aline Kaminski Crumb, Diane Newman, Dory Ceda, Linda Crothers, and some male artists. The grueling, gritty world of young women cartoonists. Breakthroughs in backbiting. 40-year-old housewife versus white suburban punk boys. Modo Day's exciting career moves. And then that's who is on the cover, is Modo Day. So, ew, what a low-life name for a magazine. Can't we change the name? And when they started Weirdo, they said it was have a lowbrow counterpoint to Raw's highbrow art. So I just break, of course, Modo Day Crumb. Stuff here. Let's see. Did this? No, it doesn't here. Starts right off with the Modo Day story. Of course, Crumb. It's the part that I always like best. Various things. It's some of Aline's contributions, and of course, she was never the draftsman that her her hubby was, but you got to give her props for credit. Here is this is in 1986, and this is a story by Dory, Ceda. I loved Dory, Ceda. Both my friend Dean and I, who introduced me to the Weirdo, loved Dory, Ceda. And she had a lot of stuff about her dog. I don't want to show too much of that. It has some Spain Rodriguez. I love Spain Rodriguez. He is probably my second favorite underground cartoonist, and various other things. But I wanted to show you this here too. It has an article at the end, and it concludes on the back cover. And the article is written by, it's a prose article written by Terry Swigoff. Now Terry Swigoff was a writer and filmmaker and friend of Robert Crumb, and he is one who directed the now famous Academy Award winning documentary called Crumb, all about how Robert Crumb and his family, etc. Here we skip. We'll go from 18 to 20 because I didn't get 19. Still Crumbs. And in this issue, religion, crime, food, sex. Here's the Crumb story. Now notice that it's kind of different. The heavy solid blacks. This is when he was experimenting with brush and ink. Before that, he'd always used Tech pens or Croquill pen, and he still has some here, but it's still primarily brush and ink. Of course, on the other side was some of Aleen's work. And I want to see, of course, they had letters pages. And here it starts off at the inside cover with a story by Dory, Ceda. And had the text pages of letters page with had several editorials, columns by Harvey Pekar of American Splendor. You can see some of the nice and not so nice things in the magazine. And some unusual experimental stuff. Oh yeah, I was looking at this earlier. This is some really nice artwork. And this is the Cockeyed Cook story. And this is supposed to be like true crime killer. And some really nice work in that one. Even on the back cover. Then for 22, I don't actually have a copy of 22. Weirdo number 22. I missed that and couldn't find one at the time. Now my friend, he had a copy, so we were both Dory Ceda fans and Crumb fans, and he made a Xerox copy. He did not copy the entire issue, but most of the interesting stuff, and of course all the Crumb stuff, and in here, and especially if I can ever get to anything, and especially the Dory Ceda story, because this would have been her last story from 1987. Because she passed away. I think it was complications from pneumonia. I think that's what it was. And I loved Dory Ceda stuff. Binky Brown, the 49 Slinky Slur. And here's the Crumb. Back to the Croquill and the technical pen. Then, issue number 25. Oh, look at that. Oh, very sensitive, soft, sensitive fellow. Tears running down his face. Look at all the beautiful people running around out there. It says, in this issue, losers, and more losers. Weirdo, even the very swirly, pretty type of style. Yeah, Crumb was great at doing composing and designing and illustrating the covers, magazine covers, comic covers. How glorious it is, and also how painful to be an exception. Number 25. And now I couldn't find a credit for this first story, 2-page story. And it's, again, some really nice, unconventional, but unconventionally conventional artwork. Kind of mainstream humor style artwork. And some nice stuff, but it doesn't say who did it. Then the letters page, Lisa Darling, Bob the Snowman. Some weird stuff. That's weirdo, it's perfect. Human Garbage. Oh, a bunch of gag cartoons from several years. Oh yeah, Doug Allen's Steven. He had his own book with Steven too. Here we have the Crumb stuff. Always my biggest attraction. Beto and Carol. This is stuff a combo of who is it? Gilbert and Carol Hernandez, and one half of the Hernandez brothers, and I presume his wife. Life in these United States. This is a story written by Peter Bagg, drawn by Dan Close. And, Dan Close had that movie, Ghost World. Had his own comic. And I used to have a whole bunch of those. I don't know whatever happened to them. I probably had to get rid of them. Then we have number 26. Look at this pile of bodies. Makes me think of World War Z. Some right off the bat, Mary Fleener, and who's I don't know who did this, and some real nice artwork, but I don't see. Oh, let me take a look. Sternberg. I don't know who she is. That's beautiful. Here's another Harvey Crumb column. Harvey Pekar column. Right into the Crumb, piles and piles of people. This is an unusual story, and about probably the only page I can show you. Quaker School Cuties, this is by Phoebe Glockner. Some real nice stylized artwork in this. There's someone used a scratch board for their artwork. Then, of course. Think nothing. Okay. Spain Rodriguez again. Love that stuff. Let's see what else. Aline Kaminski, Crumb. Here's some of her work. There's some weird, unusual stuff there. And I just loved these magazines. Then issue 27, Orange Juice, and this looks demented. Now I wanted to mention here that as I loved Crumb's work for decades, and going back decades, and as great as his work was, and a great fine draftsman as he was when he started in the 60s, over the decades you can see his style mature a bit until like by this time, by the late 80s and 90s, and of course up into today, he is just a master draftsman, and his draftsmanship has just improved, and he was always great. But his draftsman, here's Peter Bagg, Joe Matt. That's what I meant to say. Another Moto Day story. She was always weird. Carol Lay, some nice stuff. Nuts to a Plank. Clay Wilson. Some more scratchboard stuff. I don't know who that was. Report from the Disaster Scene. The Room, 68 to 70. And we finish up with Aline Kaminski Crumb. Then we go to the very last issue of Weirdo Magazine. And here's Weirdo. Change the spelling of it 93. 68 pages. It's a bigger book. I don't... Armst. I don't know who this is. Who did the painting that's on the back cover. Of course. And this is still 93, so this would have been about the time. It said, one time only, special international issues. So this must have been about the time that the Crumbs moved to France. This is Roy Tompkins. That's some weird stuff. Helping the poor. Very, very busy, but some fine work. Don't know what else to say. More Spain. One nation under God. And he's being critical of the rise of the religion and politics. Think what he'd think today. Peter Bag stuff. Back to the bagel belt. Aline work. She was so critical of so many people, her in her family, her and herself especially. From the sketchbooks of Robert Armstrong. That's some nice stuff. I bet you that's who that was, Armstrong, who did that back painting. Some more unusual stuff. Oh, again, some really nice artwork here for Phoebe Glockner. Some nice, really nice stuff. And don't go, Aline. The last issue of Weirdo Magazine. Weirdo. Weirdo. French version of it. Okay. So that's all I've got this time. That's plenty. That's plenty. A lot of heavy-duty weirdo stuff, that's for sure. From Weirdo Magazine, from Last Gasp Eco Funnies. So, this was longer than I intended. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tell me how much you love Weirdo. Tell me that in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.